guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lillian coming with another video. Before we even get into it, I need to make sure that we are live. We need to make sure. So I'm just gonna test it. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, it says that I'm live. I'm gonna click it just in case.
Every small business owner and freelancer should know about sequence.
You know, I'm just gonna do
it.
Finance
and dealing with money. I make videos.
So I'm just gonna test it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. You know, because the last time I got on live, or the last two times, girl, we were having issues. So I just want to make sure that we are doing this right. All right. So today we are going to be talking about. Okay. Let me set a timer. We're talking about recognizing toxic environments and relationship dynamics. Okay, I want to just set a timer so that we're going to do like 30 minutes. You know, just I don't want to spend all day on the because I feel like this is the negative, but we need to talk about it. I'm setting a timer for 35. Okay, because let me tell you, we are nearing the end of the year. Okay, we are nearing the end of the year, and I am ready to wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody at work, we are all like, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Okay, and it's just kind of like, you know, you start to see like the rose-colored glasses come off and everything like that. And not saying that the rose-colored glasses, but you see things that you already saw, but it's like magnified times 10, right? All right, and the reason I want to talk about this is because we have grown so much, you guys. We have grown so much, and I just want to I'm going to tell y'all all the little stories and everything, all the little nooks and all the little, but I want y'all to recognize the toxicity of the situation. And hopefully you will recognize the toxicity in your own lives, all right? And you will move accordingly, okay? All right. So, you know, growing up, we were raised to, you know, get A's and B's, A's and B's, A's and B's. And so we have this idea that we have to get, you know, top marks, top recommendation on our work, right? But what that really teaches you is that, you know, you have to be great, but you're not being great for yourself. You're being great for someone else to consume it, right? So we learn about these toxicities from the beginning. We're conditioned to be high achieving. We're conditioned to be great workers, great, you know, creatives and all these different things, but not for us to be the beneficiary of our own, right? Our own things, but so that someone else can consume our things. All right, take the work that we have produced and go ahead and put their name on it, you know, and call it, you know, whatever they want to call it, but it was our idea, our work. And so we learned that from an early age. So when you become an adult and you start working for people, you know, you assume that this is how it goes. Or maybe it's just like you see it, it happens, they take your ideas, they take all your different things, and, you know, simultaneously, right, saying that you're not working. You know, like what you're doing is not major, okay? So let me tell you the story. So end of the year, and it's a major difference because the lady that I was working with, you know, last year she retired. Okay, me and her, we got along exceptionally well. Okay, and I miss her. I do, because structure. She was more structured and more detailed than I was, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? This is a situation where the old heads that really, really care, right? The ones that are really about the business, they're retiring. They have gone away. And so if, you know, you're still teaching or whatever the case may be, you run into scenarios where, you know, the people that are left really don't care, or they don't have, you know, systems in place and different things of that nature. So we have people system, and I already talked to the administrator. I'm not gonna overstep, because the issue is, you know, it's a situation where people don't like how I deal with things, or they feel like I'm exerting or I'm stepping on the toes, right? So when I just pull my hand back, I pull my hand back and we'll see whose classroom management really is going to give. You see what I'm saying? Listen to y'all. We were in there in that room, y'all. We were in there and no problems. I step out for 5 minutes and one of the tables is like broke, like literally broken. We have to buy a new table. It cannot be fixed. I was only out of the room for 5 minutes. Okay? Now that was what? Before we took the state exams. Now they got them in there. I don't know. They just feel like it's easier to put all the kids in a little room or whatever. That's fine. I step back. Mind you, it's 3 of us in that room, y'all. It's 3 of us grown in that room. I'm the one pulling all the weight. I'm doing all the work. I'm keeping the kids from breaking furniture. Like, I'm from Mississippi, and it was always like, we're not going to be moving furniture around for no children. They need to get somewhere and sit down. That's what I believe in. So the fact that a furniture table got broke, I felt some type of way about that. But it's just kind of like I was only out of the room for 5 minutes. I can't do everything. I can't do everything, right? I can't. And I am really... I'm coming to terms with that. I think it's the prescription. I think I'm coming to terms that we can't do everything for everybody. And we're not even finna try no more. I'm not trying to do nothing. Because here's the thing. I hope by me sharing what I'm going through or whatever, that it will help and inspire somebody else. But listen, be at work. They give me all these different projects. I told one of my grandmothers, and she's just like, it sounds like you're doing everything except the library. It sounds like they got you doing every little thing, and this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You went to school to be one thing, and then you actually get into the role, into the position, and you don't even get to do what it is that you wanted to do. How many times do we go to school, we get these accolades, we do everything, and we don't even get to do the thing that we were supposed to be doing in the first place. We went to school 3 times, and we not doing any of the things that we went to school for on those 3 times. I'm talking about me. We went to school 3 times. We have 3 degrees, and when are we going to do what we went to school for, what we spent money for, and we got student loans for? When are we going to be able to do that thing? Anyway, we at work. We doing our little thing. We doing what they ask us to do. This project, we do that project. They ask us to do one thing, we do that thing. We do it because we want to be a team player. We want to be a team player, and we want to, but the issue that we have, excuse my dog, and see, that's what I be talking about. That's what I be talking about. My dog, she's active, okay? Look at her. Anyway, I'm so sorry. My dog. She's active. Like, she is body slamming these toys. Anyway, let me tell you. We go to work, we do all these projects, and it seems like we're pouring out so much energy. But when are we ever getting filled up? All right, so let me tell you what I don't know if it was you, but I be at work. I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, okay? And I get met with resistance as it relates to people feeling like I'm not doing anything. Not people that actually matter. I'm talking about people that are like on the sidelines or whatever. Like, people get jealous that I'm always on some type of leadership, or on some type of committee. I never asked to be on no committee. I never asked to be none of these things. But people be like, oh, I think you would be a great fit. And so that's how I end up doing it. Or, would you like to do this? If you can't do it, we'll give it to somebody else who probably doesn't need any more work. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just like we get bombarded with all of these different things, and then other people are jealous of the fact that you're getting all of this stuff to do, but then also telling you that you're not doing anything, or what you're doing does not matter. You see what I'm saying? And then we're stepping on toes and things like that. People are coming to me. Listen, this is what I've been dealing with, and this is why we've been losing our voice. Okay, I ain't want to say it. Listen, I'm in minding my business. Listen, you want to use the space? Use the space. Use the space however you want to. I'm gonna be in my office, packing up, getting ready to go. We're wrapping this year down. Think about it. It's the end of the year. We're wrapping it up. People knocking on my door. Excuse me, ma'am. Oh, I forgot to put the mic on. Can y'all hear me? Am I even talking? Yes, I am. But we're gonna rock with it. Anyway, I knew I forgot to do something. I knew it. Anyway, they knocking on my door. Hey, can you come out here and regulate? Can you come out here and talk to these kids? Can you come out here and do this and do that and do this and that? And I'm like, you know what? Are you sure? Are you sure you want me to come out here and do this? Are you sure you want me to come out here and communicate? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because when I go out there, we shut it down, and I'm regulating. I don't care who, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody gonna, yeah. But if people don't like the way I regulate, but you're not talking amongst the department, so you can have a whole department of people, and they're not communicating within the department. It's too many chiefs. Not enough Indians, right? They're not communicating amongst each other, right? They're not communicating amongst each other. And then they come one person, hey, I want to bring you in. I want you to do this, this, and this. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm not a part of y'all program. I don't know what y'all got going on today. I have my own stuff to do. Please, can you please come in here and regulate? I come out here and regulate, then the other people get mad. You know, well, who brought you into this? Your partner brought me into this, asking me to come in here and regulate the situation. Listen, it's filthy in here. If you can't mind the environment, then I think it's best that y'all just pack it up and leave up on about here. For real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's what I've been dealing with. That's what I've been dealing with at work. Like, to be around people that feel like you don't do nothing but want you to do I think what it is when people say that you're not doing anything, you know, they're saying that whatever it is that you're doing, you know, we don't value what you're doing or what you bring to the space. I don't know what it's just this jealousy. You want this, you want whatever I can do, but you just, I don't know, y'all. Like, I've been trying to wrap my head, and why is this even important? Because I thought we were supposed to be deprioritizing work. We are deprioritizing work. But let me tell you what happened. When I went to the MISA, and this is me. I got good notes. And if you don't know what a MISA is, it's like a spiritual vibe where we sit in a table and we just read the vibes. You know, some people, they are spiritual to the fault where they go and get readings and they get all these different things and they live their lives based off of a reading. I believe that I need information. Like, I'm going to live my life, follow the steps, do what you tell me to do, and then I'm going to come back and check on it. Just check in and make sure that it's cooking right. You know, I have to open up the oven, look in there and see if it's, you know, that's all I'm doing. I have to open up the pot, stir it up a little bit, and then move on about my day. That's what I be doing. So that's why I'm stirring the pot, trying to make sure that everything is marinating and cooking right. That's all I want to do. I just want to make sure we cooking right. Like, we on the up and up, right? Because I feel like I've been making huge strides toward my purpose and what it is that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I'm super happy. And I just want to make sure there's nothing on the, you know, like, what you got? What you got cooking up for me? I want to make sure that there's nothing that I should not be aware of, okay? Or something, if there's something that I need to be aware of, just let me know. Hook me up, let me know. But that's all. That's all I'm doing, right? So I got good marks on everything. And I'm super, super happy. But they said, something about somebody feeling like, right, that I don't do nothing at the job. And that really, even though everything, I promise, look, y'all, everything is positive. Everything is positive. I be looking at that one bad mark. Like, which one of you, you know what I'm saying? And as I've been moving, today is Wednesday, right? This is the last week. As I've been moving through the week, I've been really reflecting on my job and just, and I've been getting reflections. And I want to share that with y'all. Like, I want to share the thing, but I needed to vent just a little bit. I feel like this was a vent session because, we're trying to wrap this year up. And this is my second year being at a campus. And y'all know, I have never stayed at a school for longer than a year, 2 years. Like this year, I would be looking for another job, and we're not. That's growth. That is growth. But at the same time, I'm challenging myself to be like, I don't want to jump from job to job to job to job. I don't want to do it because I know the dynamics of each job is going to be about the same. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be about the same. People are always going to be, hating on you and mad about different dynamics. And here's my thing, okay? I'm not going to lie, all right? With a combination of my good talents, all right, and my spirituality and just who I am as a person, I don't feel like I do as much hard labor, you know what I'm saying, on a regular day basis like everybody else. No, I'm not in the classroom. I'm not subbing, okay? I'm not doing anything like all these extra duties and stuff. I'm not gonna do all that. I do stuff on the administrative level, right? That's what I do. And so what I was trying to figure out in my role was like, this is something different. It's a different animal, right? When I was a librarian in my other school, I was more like on the fine arts. I could push and pull with the administration, but it was still like this separation between me and it's like a us versus them type of thing. And if you've ever worked in education, you'll understand. But it's like a teachers and blah 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 versus the administrators. And now there's no, like, it's literally you're on the other side, right? And so now you're seeing a different level of how people feel. Like, going from being a teacher and feeling this way about administrators to going to be, now you're very close to just being an administrator. You see what I'm saying? Just being an administrator. And the thing is, I never asked for these things. I never wanted to be an administrator. I never wanted to be a leader. I never wanted to do any of these things because I believe that being a leader requires a level of discernment, a level of protection, a level of, you have to be empathetic to other people. You have to have good communication skill. You have to be like all of the things. I have these things within myself, but I never wanted to because it breeds this level of jealousy, and I'm not even gonna say borderline hatred, because there's always something that you could be doing that you're not doing. And then you learn that you can never really truly satisfy anybody. And so you just have to do what you have to do. Like, I'm on the Sunshine Committee. The Sunshine Committee. Girl, I get cards for people whenever something is going on. But then I learned, and I never had any idea, like, some people, if they can't cover their rent, they want to be on the Sunshine. Like, this is supposed to be help me pay my rent or help me pay for things that I need to pay for in my regular day. That's not what it's for, baby. So then I have to communicate these things, or I have to, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to move in a certain way when you're dealing with people and on an administrator, on a executive type level. How do you communicate? Like, hey, I care about you and your problem, but at the same time, this committee does not handle these things. You need to go seek these resources from XYZ. And I'm like, I ain't never asked for that. I'm just trying to buy people cards. That's all I want to do is get you a little card. You know what I'm saying? And then you're spending your own money for these things, because there is no money. Okay, there is no money for these things. We're spending our own money to go and do these things, our own gas, our own resources to make this thing a success. And you know what? when it's time for you to get some type of like, not saying you do it to do it. Like, librarian week came up, no announcement, nothing, none of that, none of these things. And I ain't gonna lie, I felt some type of way. I talked to the bookkeeper about it. She told me not to worry about it. It was in the works. I had nothing to worry about. And I'm glad that because we just had a real conversation. I was like, I don't ever do things where I feel like I need to get something back from anybody, but at the same time, it would be nice to be recognized for all of the different things that I do. There are things that I do that if I don't do it, we get bad marks for our school. I am working on the communicating between the district and the school, trying to keep our fluff it up. Like, I might as well be doing PR. I'm doing PR for the school. Like, I'm trying to make it just help out wherever I can. But it's just kind of like, girl, I'm over that. You know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about recognizing toxic environments and relationships, we don't oftentimes recognize our work environment as being toxic. When I started having problems about work and everything like that, I would tell my parents and my grandparents, and they were just like, this is the way life is supposed to be. Like, you work your 9 to 5, you go to your job, and you cope with that. That's what you're going to be doing. Bills need to be paid. You have a certain level of lifestyle. You have to make sure that, you're taking care of yourself and different things of that nature. So you learn that, a toxic work environment is the norm. And then when you go from one job to another job like I have, you like, dang, all of them. They all a little weird, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like rejecting that narrative. We're rejecting that narrative, And see here, now when you start rejecting the narrative that jobs are toxic and you start moving in alignment, right? Moving in alignment with your goals, things start to matter less. Like, other people's opinions about what you do and what you don't do, it matters less. Like, in the past, I would have fought for this job. I would have fought for the narrative. Like, they think I don't do anything, so I would have did more work. So to prove, like, I'm trying to prove myself that I'm worthy of whatever it is. But the truth of the matter is, whether you work yourself to the bone or not, they're gonna feel however they feel, because at the end of the day, it's not that you don't do enough or whatever. It's just that they don't value you. You see what I'm saying? There's no amount of work that you could do where people will feel that you are doing something. They feel like I don't do nothing because they don't value me. You know what I'm saying? And so instead of trying to, work, do more projects, take on more roles, take on this, take on that, and stretch myself. Because there is a lady at my job that does way more than I do. And me and her, we got into it one time. But we good now, but it's just like, I had to take a step back. You see what I'm saying? I had to take a step back and realize, like, from her standpoint, why would you take on so much projects and work? Some people take on so many projects and works and different things of that nature because they want to be seen valuable. Yes, they also want to control the narrative, and they also want to control their day. As long as you're working on all these different things and people see you in this type of light, then you're more likely to remain in whatever spot that you're in. You have this sense of power, and you can't be lost. You know what I'm saying? Because you are that much of an asset. And that's the other thing. You're valued to the administrator, but you're not valued to the people or whatever. So it's like you have to learn to navigate whose opinion really matters. Are you going to listen to the opinions of these pawns over here? Like, they literally are just warm bodies for this situation? Or are you going to listen to the person that is making decisions, right? And here's the other part. I told my principal, like, I'm looking for another job. I did. I said, sir, just between you and me and whatever, and the good Lord, I'm applying. And he said, okay, no problem. No problem. You do whatever you feel like you need to do. We believe that you're an asset, and we would love to keep you around. But if you need to do, you do what you have to do. I asked him for a letter of recommendation. He never did that. But I was trying to let him know I'm going to be applying to jobs. And when I apply to jobs, I apply to like maybe 100, 200 jobs in a week. Or within 3 days, I have already applied to a whole bunch of jobs. I don't care what I qualify for. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to apply. And I'm going to get an interview. And I'm going to enjoy myself. But you know what? I did that, but it's just like weird things started happening to me. Now, the principal on the up and up did not act differently. He didn't act different. And I liked that. I was like, wow. I told him to look for another job, and he did not come out of a badass. Like, he was just, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay, you want to look for another job? Look for another job. Do your thing. But girl, I don't know. I had brought my table home from work. And I'm not accusing nobody or nothing, but I had this table, the table that we're sitting on right now. This was at work in my office, but my office was already packed up. Listen to the story now, okay? So I took my table home. I put it in my car, y'all. I just took this during a lunch break. I took my table. I don't know if somebody saw me on the cameras or whatever, thought that I was packing up and putting things in right? Tell me why my work computer, not the computer we talking to y'all on, but the work computer came up missing. And I was in my office, y'all, and I was looking for my computer. Only 3 of us, okay? Only 3 people in the entire school have a key to that office, okay? Now, that computer that they just gave us is $500. And I don't want to pay $500 just in case. And I'm like, where is it? I literally just got it 2 weeks ago. I'm in there crashing out. I'm crashing out. That is why we're on a prescription. Because I had this idea that my computer came up missing when I said I was looking for another job. So I had to file a police report. I had to do all this other stuff. When I finally decide, maybe 2 weeks ago, that I'm going to stay at the job, tell me why the computer came up, like they gave it to me. They gave it back to me. I went through all this stressful stuff about a lost computer. And now I have a prescription and everything. I thought I was crashing out. I thought I was going crazy. But I was right the entire time. Hold on. Somebody wrote me a chat. Yes, okay. Somebody was like, okay, hello. Tamile. Hold on. Tamile. Is it Tamile? 92? Hey girl, how you doing? Okay, it says, do you think you got treated the way you did because you were a special teacher and they already unfortunately valueless coming from someone? Yes. Girl, listen. When I was at my other school, I just said, I don't know if you heard me, but I was like on the fine arts team. I still had pull with administrators. I still was able to talk to them and they valued my opinion, all right? But now I'm not on Tamile. I'm sorry. Okay. My bad. I tried to say it right. But now that I'm in middle school is different, right? Middle school is different because the kids, they have their own like schedule. Like they go different places all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's like high school a little bit. And I'm actually on a high school schedule. But anyway, so they choose where they want to go. They don't even really have free periods and the way their curriculum is set up. So I don't have kids come into the library all the time. I don't. But I have made it to where library lunch, they come during lunch and they come during like a free period or whatever like that. And if their teachers will write them a pass and give them permission, I'll take them throughout the day. I go into the actual classroom and I've been doing lessons. Like the end of the year, they have end of the year projects and stuff like that. That's what I've been doing. Helping them with Canva, Adobe Express, using AI in the classroom. Like, yeah, I could be vlogging that, but girl, we taking a break. But that's what I've been doing, right? I have been, becoming a resource. If the kids can't come into the library, I go to the kids, right? And that's all I'm trying to do. The thing is, everybody doesn't value, like some of the teachers don't want to I don't work with the reading teachers. I work with the social studies teachers. I work with like building partnerships with the STEAM teacher, right? The we have like an actual wood shop workshop teacher. He is coming there. That's last year we worked on the Lego wall, like all of these different things, like building strategic partnerships. But the thing is, I'm learning and getting more comfortable with the fact that everybody is not going to like me. And I think that's the other thing. I'm a Libra, and I want everybody to like me. But I'm learning that they're just not going to like you just because. Like, I'm always having these different projects they want me to do. And when I say what projects, you're like, what is that? Like, okay, our school, like every school, I don't know if every school have it, but you have to do like these surveys, end of the year surveys, teacher surveys. To the outside, it doesn't matter, but to our campus improvement plan, right, where we get money and funding based off of these data points, it does matter. So if we put on our campus improvement plan that we're going to make each student feel valued, and we are using this survey as a particular data point, then it does matter, because we are being graded as a school based off of these data points. So these things have to be completed so that you see how everything, but to the teacher, like, why do they have to do this? Like, this is stupid. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the things that I'm doing, they matter significantly to the school, but other people don't really value that. Let me see what you say. Hold on, let me see. I'm grateful for my degree, but the profession is tough. I've always felt jealous. No, you're not. And that's the other part. So if you get a master's in library studies, like, you can do whatever you don't have to be a librarian at the school. Now, you have the school library certificate that I have, but if I wanted to leave, say I want to go to a different, like, public librarian or whatever, you can do that because you have the master's in library information science, and you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can do, like, the world is your oyster, right? So you're not locked in. A lot of times people go and they get their master's in education, so that locks you into the education field. If you are ever confused on what you want to do not lock yourself into any one thing. Like, they're at the end of the year, so they're talking about contracts and different things of that nature. Now, I don't know where you are, but when like right here, like, you can resign over the summer, but you have a deadline to resign. So if you don't resign within a specific amount of time, then they can sanction your contract. However, if you are a librarian or you're something else and you decide to get something outside of education, then it does not matter about the sanctioning of your contract, because the new job that you're working in, right, it's not going to be like we don't care, okay, that they're trying to sanction this one thing. They can sanction that because I still gonna make bread. Now, if you are a teacher and you're trying to stay a teacher, you're trying to go work somewhere else as a teacher, then you might have a problem. But if you're a teacher and you're trying to leave and do something else, you see what I'm saying? Then it doesn't matter whether they sanction your stuff, because that master's degree cannot be sanctioned. Do you understand? That's why I mind my business. I mind my business because I'm going to always figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I read the fine print. That's why I'm in the library, baby. That's why we in there. And that's why they don't want nobody talking to me, because if you talk to me long enough, we'll find a solution to the problem. Okay? Yeah. No, they're not going to pursue it. They're not going to pursue, especially you be like, yeah, I'm going to move different. Listen. This if you be like, oh, I'm gonna work in a different field completely, and you just bring it up all the time, like you just keep bringing it up all the time. Yeah, I'm medical records, or blah blah blah. Every time they talk to you, like, yeah, I think this is nice, but it's not like what I was doing before. You just they have it embedded in their mind, like, she gonna leave us high and dry. You see what I'm saying? She gonna leave us high and dry. And you know what? We don't want to lose her. We don't look. I'm telling you. And then they're not gonna pursue it. They're not. So even if you're in a tough situation and you want to get out, just talk about stuff that's outside of education. That's manifesting, but it's also playing your cards right. Because if they know you're going to leave them and go somewhere else outside of education, then they're going to be like, well, it's not even worth pursuing her thing. And that's the part. Like, a lot of people that don't want to do education, they shoot themselves in the foot because they don't play it right. If you play it right, then you ain't got to worry about all the other stuff. Even if you was going to go to another, you see what I'm saying? And that's why we was going to the doctor in the first place. Because you might need, but let me tell you, this is what I didn't know. This is what I didn't know. Because I was reading all the paperwork, but I had it right too, let me tell you. So I was trying to do short-term disability. I don't know where I was on Instagram, but I was on short-term disability Instagram. My algorithm took me there, okay? And I was like, what is that? Let me do some research on short-term disability. I am not feeling this, okay? That was before I got my prescription. I was like, what is going on? I need a day off. I need a break. You gotta have short-term disability coverage. I'm like, what? Because I thought it was free. Some states, they get that for free. Not in my state. My state, if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, if you don't have no coverage, then you don't work, you don't eat type thing. And I'm like, man, and then the other thing about being a teacher or being in education is the way that they divvy up your contracts. Because you're not working, hold on, that's the timer. Because you're not working the entire year, the way they have the contract set up to where, you get your check, you know what I'm saying? So if I would have did short-term disability, I was going to do it after spring break. I don't know what it is about spring break, but I love quitting around that time. But anyway, I was going to do spring break. So that would have been March, April, May. That's 3 months. They would have had to recalculate my pay. You see what I'm saying? Because it's already weird because you're working with 8 months and they have to cover it for the 12 month or I don't know. I don't trust their math. Do you know how long it took me to make sure that my finances were together? Like, it took me over 6 months for them to have my finances together, and I didn't want to risk it. I don't want them to do extra special math about, trying to figure out what my check would be for short-term disability. So yeah, nah. It's better to quit. I was looking at that. I was reading the thing. I think it's better to quit because if you do short-term disability and they recalculate your check, right, boom, you still have to pay insurance, okay? You still got to pay like health insurance. That has to be paid. Your part of the health insurance has to be paid. And then the other part is if you don't return, then they can sue you or collect the health insurance back. So you got to return for 1 day or something like that. But I was like, you know what? You doing all of this when you just want to quit anyway. So what's really tea? Like, what's really tea? But I am going to get short-term disability coverage. Just, I just think I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it for the next year. But they don't talk about that type of stuff. They don't tell us that. They don't tell us none of that. Okay. Hold on. Yup. See? Yeah. When I quit it, if I didn't come right back. Insurance. That's how they get you. See? No, we're not good role models. That's okay. No. But here's the thing. That's why I had to stop doing my YouTube because, I'm not really no good role model because the job it's different. My job is different. It's not like cookie cutter. Oh, we're going to da-da-da-da-da. No, they some straight up fools. And so I have to be a fool too. And I can't put that on TV like that. But I have to be crazy too because they crazy. They started with me. I used to quit jobs too. I used to quit jobs all the time. I used to be like, girl, I'm gonna quit this job. This is the first time that I was like, you know what? Instead of quitting, I'm going to like work on my business, work on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to separate the YouTube channel from work. And that has helped me tremendously. Having something else to focus my energy on. Because let me tell you something. People, look, I gotta have some water for this. For what I'm about to say right now. Let me tell you. Some people, they don't have nothing going on in their life. They don't have nothing good going on. They don't, like, they could be like not even clocking tea, but they could be married, and their marriage is like very different. You know, I'm the type of person, when I get married, I'm trying to be my man, honey. And you know what I'm saying? But people be married and they be having, they be going through some things. Like, I don't want to tell you, but you can imagine they have different situations at their house. They have different situations with their kids. They might not even like their kids. I want to love my kids. I want to be all out my kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to do. I want to be there for my family, right? And like not my like the other. I'm talking about, like, if I had some kids and a husband, I would be in tune with that energy, right? I would be focused on that. They are not focused on that. They not. They ain't got nothing to do, and they making everybody else's life miserable because their life is miserable, right? That's why it's so irritating at work, because they hate their lives. They hate themselves, right? They literally hate everything, and so they want to make any little, here I am coming in happy-go-lucky, walking to the beat of my own drum, and they feel some type of way because they don't have that much freedom, or they just feel like they have to knock you down a peg or whatever because they're so unhappy. They're unhappy in their lives. Like, you would think that, girl, I don't know, I'm 31, I'm a millennial. I thought that, you 30, you married, you got kids, the job is just look, we just getting a little paid right here. We're not doing too much. We're just coming up here having a good one too. That's all we doing. We going on vacation. That's what we doing. They come up there and they make people's lives hockey sticks, okay? All right, because I don't want YouTube playing with my stuff, but that's what they do. That's what they do. They have nothing within themselves that is anything. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see. Yeah. They're deep down jealous of I'm telling you, like in my last video, we were talking about, giving the kids advice and stuff. Like, they really be hating people that are just so much potential, so much opportunity ahead. They just want to knock you down a peg. I'm so serious. And so if you can't If you can't recognize that, and you like, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong? Because I used to be like that. What's wrong with me? What did I do? Nothing. You didn't do nothing. That's just how they wired. Okay? And then don't be like me and try to figure out, well, what makes them tick and why are they acting like that? They acting like that because that's who they are. Some people are just not good people, and it's not your job to try to make people better. If they don't want to be better, if they don't want to see the sunshine, that's too. But then also, they don't want to see the sunshine, but don't dim your light because you're trying to make the room, easy on their eyes. It's too bright. They need to figure out some sunglasses or something. You need to still shine your light and do your thing, right? You need to do your thing because, I learned that and see, the fact that we can say that, and here's the thing, I thought getting on a prescription, it would make me feel better about the situation. And in a way, I do. But I still feel the same way that I felt before. But now I'm able to, I'm not in fight or flight. Because I had really, really bad anxiety. Really bad anxiety. Okay? Can you imagine being locked in your office? Like, where is this computer? Like, did I lose it? What happened to that computer? Girl, when I tell you, I had this theory, and I was texting my friend, like, I think they stole my computer because they don't want me to leave. That computer came up. I had to file a police report. I had to do all of these things. I was freaking out on the inside. Like, where is it? They took my computer, y'all. They took my computer, and they'll never admit it. And I don't even, like, should I say something? No, don't say nothing, because you don't value me, but you don't want me to leave. That's the tea. That is the tea. Like, It's funny. It's hilarious. But it's just like, girl, don't try to make sense of the situation. And the fact that I can sit here and laugh about it now, it's the meds. Because I would have crashed out. The old me would have knocked on somebody's door and like meet me out in the parking lot. That's how I know that I can't be at a job too long, because I don't really be caring about the job like that for real. Cause y'all be playing for real. Y'all be playing for real. And I don't play like that. I don't play like that. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know, it sounds far-fetched, but girl, that computer was missing. It was missing. I had to file a police report. The people in the district like, you just got it. I was like, I left it in my office. Only 3 people have a key. And I didn't do it. The other lady didn't do it. Who you think took it then? Because who be going in my office all the time? When I told them they'll be going in my office all the time. Who do that? Yeah. That's why we can't do our YouTube thing. Because that's what I be doing. Dealing with on a regular day basis. Weird stuff like that. And you know what? Growth. Because I don't even care. I don't even care no more. I don't even care. I'm working on my own thing. And that's the other thing, is like when you start working on a project that is like, I feel like when you're working on something outside of your job, or you're working on something outside of the relationship or whatever, because it doesn't have to just be work that's toxic. If you work on something outside and you pull your energy back, it's like the people can feel that. They can feel that you are pulling your energy back. You're not giving them to, like, they doing crazy stuff, and you're just like, okay, that's fine, that's great, good for you. I guess you need it more than I do. I guess you need it. You know, they start looking like, oh my God, I'm the crazy one, right? I'm the crazy one. No, you are. You are. And I'm glad you know that. I'm glad you're getting some type of self-awareness. But they can feel that you're pulling the energy back. And so they'll start trying to pull you back in. And you're just like, girl, no, I'm not. And then you could be a fool, and when they start pulling you back in, right, you start, oh, they love me, they accept me, they like me, they really, really like me. No. They want to keep you in these loops, okay, fruit loops. They want to keep you looped up, tied down, okay, locked up in their thing. You have to find your own thing outside of the situation. Right? Most people, there is probably going to be another job. And that's why I say don't get attached to the job. Don't get attached to anything. Because, but what is more important for me is to build something that belongs to me. Something that I don't have to run away from. I feel like every job is going to be irritating. So I want something that is mine. You know what I mean? Something, and I feel like God is going to bless me with something that belongs to me, something that requires less work than I already do. I do a lot of paperwork. I do a lot of, computer work. But I'm going to be honest with you, whether people feel like I do or don't do anything, I don't even care. Okay? Because I don't ever want to be looked at as the person that does too much. You know what I'm saying? I think it's actually pretty, like, a good thing. Like, I have a soft life. And I defend it. I stand by it, as Denzel would say. I stand by it because I'm not going to be doing too much. Okay, all that extra stuff, that bending over backwards stuff, that is dead. I'm not doing it. I'm doing just enough. And even the just enough is a little bit too much for me. I don't care no more. And that's the other part. People be jealous. Because they feel like you got to do as much as they doing it. It's like crabs in a bucket, crabs in a barrel. They want everybody to be miserable. They want everybody to, like, whatever. And I'm just like, no, if it doesn't feed my soul, if it doesn't make me happy, then will I be on it? No. Will I be signing up? No. Like, I'm not, if I can't do it, we can't do it. Just telling you can't do it. If I don't feel good, I'm calling out. I call out all the time. I ain't got no more days, y'all. I ain't got nothing. They didn't dock me this year. But I was, my plan was I was going to use up all my days and then do short-term disability. Yep, that's what I was going to do. Or I was going to quit. Because I was like, you do all this stuff for short-term disability, you might as well just quit. You might as well, because what are you doing? And I was like, dang, this too much paperwork. This too much. You might as well just say goodbye. You see what I'm saying? And call it a day. Which one is easier? Do some paperwork, and then you got to deal with the extra stuff just because, you see what I'm saying? Or you could just say goodbye. I don't know. But I did look at the paperwork. But release yourself from anything. Anybody that is trying to like rain on your parade, and I wrote down some notes. Hold on, is this the paper? I want to share some of my motivationals. Because I say we getting on 50 minutes, girl. We're not gonna be on here all day, okay? I really like doing my lives. I really like doing it, and I just want to share like midweek inspiration. And I hope that by me sharing my story, it really helps somebody. Because we spend a lot of our time at work. Okay, we spend all our time at work. I feel like we owe it to ourselves to live a life, that we enjoy. We spend all this time at work and we are not being fulfilled on our regular day basis. We have to find some type of work, some type of something, that will feed us and make us happy in the long run. It's only right. It's only right. And that might not always, like, some people like, don't do a 9 to 5, get a business or whatever. It doesn't have to be any of that. It could just be like, I have this lady I work with. She's really nice. Her husband work. She got kids. She putting their kids through schools or whatever like that. And she just come up there, answer a little phone, do a little translation, and she out the door. I like her. That's all we finna do. Don't ask her for too much, okay? Because she ain't gonna be able to do that. Okay? She ain't gonna be able to do it. She just, look, girl, I just came up here. I'm gonna drink this coffee. Okay? I'm gonna drink this coffee. I'm gonna have my lunch. I'm gonna type on the computer. I'm gonna make a few phone calls. And then I'm out the door. That's it. Don't nobody ever tell her she ain't doing too much. But it's always you need the sister girl to be doing. No. I'm doing just what Miss Ann is doing. Miss Ann is answering that phone, okay, transferring that call, typing a little email, scanning a few things, and then she's out the door. Don't look for her around lunch, and she's gonna have her cup of coffee, okay, and she gonna have her little Spotify playing in the background, little humidifier. Please keep it cute, honey. We're not doing too much. Look, it's just a little one too. These type of people keep their jobs forever, but it be them other people that be feeding on people. So, all right. Well, this is what I wrote down. It says, even if it feels like it's a loss, it's still a win, because in your loss is a learning opportunity. New insights, adjustments, refinements. It's one more step toward the perfection. One move away from solving the puzzle. Failure teaches you where you went wrong and how to get it right. Character development, okay? You get the cheat code, okay? When you lose, now you know what it takes to be a winner. That's what I wrote down, okay? Yeah, so I really hope that helps somebody, girl. I really do. I had another one, and I can't find it. I be having little sheets of paper everywhere. Y'all, I hope y'all like this. I rearranged my entire living room so that we could get window lighting, because I have these lights. They sitting over there. I got to put all that stuff in the storage room. I have these lights, and they're not giving. So now that means we might have to move our time up. Like over the summer, we can go live whenever we want to. But I'm trying to keep it consistent. So like when we have to go back into work or whatever for next school year, that I can still do it. So what I do is when I come home, I lay on the couch. I lay right on over there and took a nap. Okay, I took a nap. I woke up at 5 and I was like, ooh, I need to get on live. And so I got on live. That's why we was a little late. Okay, and then we had to make sure it was working. It was working. But then we're using this light, and I might do something with the TV because I don't know why it's flickering like that. I think it's the LED because it's not flickering, but the camera is picking up on the flicker. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I had another one. Before I get off of here, I'm going to find the paper. Hold on. I've been getting all these little downloads and stuff, and I really want to share it with y'all today. Oh, here you go, right here. All right. Y'all, when I get a word, oh, by the way, get into the body, honey. Get in. I'm still, okay. Woo, I got to get a new chair, but don't laugh. Okay, so what it say? Listen, okay, this is very important. What I want to tell y'all, and then we're gonna get off of here. Okay, we're gonna get off of here. It says, if you feel unwanted, if you feel like you're in a position where people are not valuing you, and there's no matter what you do, there's some type of disconnect. Like they make it their business, right, to feel some type of way about you. That means that you're out of alignment. They keep telling me, y'all, that you have stayed too long in a situation. You stayed too long. It's whatever, it's done. Put a fork in it. Okay? Take that out the oven. It's done cooking. We're finished. We're done with this. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's saying it's out of you. You move where you're wanted. You grow and you flourish, you know, where you're planted. But, you know, maybe you need to be like, instead of being like the plant, they have the spores or something that just kind of float around when the wind blows. It's time for us to move with the wind and just go and be somewhere else. I don't know where we're going to go. They're trying to tell me that it is greener on the other side because, you know, God be like, it's time to go, but like, where we going? God be like, oh, it's greener on the other side. What's on the other side? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we going? Like, it would be easy to leave if you knew where you were going on the other side. But y'all, I feel like God is going to bless me. God is going to bless me. But here's the thing. You're probably like, why you not quitting this job? Why you not, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't that bad. And we're going to talk about that in another video. It's not that bad because, you know, I don't really care what people think about me as far as these worker people. Because the people that really, really value me, they don't care what happened. They just want me to come to work tomorrow. That's all they want me to do. They don't want me to do nothing but show up to work. Because that's all they want. They don't care about other people's opinion. And that's the other thing. We care about what man thinks. Why we care about what man? The only person that matter is God's opinion. And God wants you here. He wants you there. He wants you to do something. He wants you to show up every day. That's the only opinion that matter. Okay? The people that stole my computer. I'm sorry. They took my computer, y'all. Them the only people. So we can't rely on people's opinions that don't matter. We have to rely on the opinions that truly matter. So that's why I'm not quitting. Also, when I do quit, this is going to be my last job. And when I say it, I mean it. I said it the last time, but things didn't shake up the way I had it. But this is going to be my last job. I don't want to apply to nothing. I'm going to be working for myself, or I'm going to be put up and out the way. And that's period. Mary had a little lamb. I'm so sorry because this working thing is not for me. I feel like God is going to bless me. But really what I want to do is really to inspire people. I feel like we don't have enough people talking about their problems, right? And offering a way out that's tangible. Sometimes, you know, people offer help and it's too in the sky. Okay, no, tangible, something, you know, that makes sense, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna get my little business off the ground. I have my photo shoot, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But I just want to have that because we coming up on an hour, okay? So I'm going to get off of here, all right? But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video gives you courage to step away from any type of environment that you don't feel like you're supposed to be. And yeah, go watch the playlist. I have a thumbnail up, and I will see you in the next one, okay?